Hello, and welcome to a new podcast, Racing for Wins. My name is Craig Havens. Together with Jonathan Almanzar, we are two guys who, well, really aren't gearheads, but kind of fell in love with the sport of F1 racing. So we're going to talk a little bit about it. We're going to have these regular sessions and talk about the sport of F1 racing. Jonathan, tell me what you think. How did you become a fan of F1 racing?
Probably like every American, Netflix, Drive to Survive. I feel like that kind of got me in. But I live down here in South Florida, and so I went to the Miami race last
Okay.
year, and it was my wife loved it. I loved it. We had a blast. And I don't know. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. How about you?
Well, it's actually a text message sent from you. You sent me a text message with F1 Drive to Survive. Watch it and thank me later, is what you said. And I don't think I left the sofa.
Yeah, it was good, man. It was good. But then like watching it through the year and everything, it's been really great. And one thing that I've been thinking is like you and I have a Cowboys podcast where we're just fans of the
Right.
team talking about it. And I've listened to a lot of F1 podcasts, and most of them are very informative and talking about, the size of the wing and dimples
Uh,
inside the car and
I need to,
porpoise.
we need to get into the dimple depth and
Yeah,
sizing because
yeah.
I am
And
a
porpoising and the chicane and all this kind of stuff. But I wanted to do a podcast where we're just fans and we're passionate, sometimes ridiculous, over the top fans about F1. And we're going to pick teams this year, but I think that's kind of what I want this to be about. And honestly, like you're much more organized than I am. So you've put together like some different things that we'll work through, like a matrix kind of that we'll work through each episode.
sort of. I mean, I don't get called organized often, so I accept this compliment. As a non-mechanicy guy, it's a little trickier than what we do when we do something that we know a lot about.
Right.
Mechanicy, that is a word. You can look it up. It may not be in yet, but it's coming soon. Um,
Is it IE or Y?
it's yes. Um, so yeah, basically, we want to talk about a little bit about what did we think about last year in F1, not in their personal life, because I know that's where we are going to go soon. What are we looking forward to this year? In which case, we're going to kind of choose a team. So we'll find a way of finding that team. I'm going to talk a little bit about some top four finishes, best drivers that are not named Max. Um, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but
We'll get into it.
okay. We do
So
have some awards that we're going to give out too during the
each
season.
week, right?
Each
Each
week.
week.
Each week we're going to give out, well, we'll talk. The Blown Head Award is exactly what it sounds like. It's
The
the
driver who sucks the most.
the driver who sucks the exactly, yes. So it's going to be the guy who took it into the wall, or should I say banged into the wall?
Yeah, whatever,
But
whatever.
that guy, yeah. So that award will be coming every week. I don't have a graphic for it, but maybe we'll have to come up with something. Um, we're gonna have a burning rubber award, which is or not award, but we're gonna talk every week
Prediction.
about burning rubber, which is our bold prediction on what's coming up. We'll have one for the season. We'll have one weekly, something that talks about the upcoming race, but our burning rubber prediction. And then
And those predictions are like possible but not probable, correct?
correct. Yep, they're bold predictions. They're the ones that you're like, you know what? I predict that Joe Smith's wheel's going to fall off and it's going to roll 70 yards and then crash into the winner's circle, taking out six people and four children.
Like if
Uh,
you'd been at the Miami race, you could have predicted that the wheel would come off and it would bounce up into the fence right at the cigar bar that they had set up in Miami
oh,
and slam into the fence right in front of the cigar bar. And if you'd been happening to sit in the cigar bar, you might have jumped quite a bit and ashed yourself.
oh, oh, made an ash of yourself at that point.
Yeah. And others as well.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll have that, and then we'll have our running on fumes, which is uh, driver that is well, basically as it sounds, the driver that is running low, who's not really getting it done, who is kind of falling behind here. So could be that they started out strong. It could be, started out strong and just started to fall apart as the season went on.
Yeah.
So,
And I also think you brought up that we should do some sort of power ranking of the
yes.
drivers.
Yep.
Yeah, some sort of driver power ranking.
We'll have a driver power ranking as well, which was my next actually note there. So,
Oh, good.
we'll do it as drivers, not as teams, because it becomes something that, if we do teams, it's going to be pretty quick, and I don't think it'll change that often.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one weird thing about F1, huh? Like,
yeah,
it all sports push so hard for parity, and yet F1 is like, nah, we don't need parity. In fact, if you win, we're going to give you more money. Which is the opposite.
It is cool because it's not like the draft where like the worst team gets the first pick. In this case, it's like the best team gets their trophy. They get the pick that they want.
It's interesting that the most capitalistic sport of them all is F1, and the most communistic sport of all would be like the NFL.
Yeah,
where they're like, no, you can't. You get the last pick, or you get penalized from this. So
I like that you called it a communistic sport. That'll go over well in our.
But it is. It's like everybody's trying. Like everybody needs a chance. Everybody, hope springs eternal. But Formula One is like, no, these guys are good.
Yeah.
They're going to get more money to work on their car.
To the victor go the spoils.
Exactly.
It's the way it works.
And let's just do it that
way. And it's the way it should be.
Little Williams into the ground
until
they submit and sell themselves to Ford or somebody like that. So
maybe they take a hint and start doing better. Maybe that is what you need. Maybe the little guy needs to be pushed down so hard, so much pressure on them that eventually they become a diamond.
Isn't that what an atomic bomb is? Like you put so much pressure on electrons and protons that eventually they explode.
But you know what? But a diamond is made in a similar way. It's just which way it's nurtured inside that core of pressure.
But if you were, would you rather, if you're like trying to win, would you rather create a diamond or an atomic bomb if you wanted to win?
Well, do I leave the diamond or the atomic bomb behind when I'm racing, or do I?
You're wanting to win. You're wanting to win. Yes, you're in Mario Kart, and you're creating one of those things.
Okay, all right. So it's the atomic bomb I want. Yeah, and I'm going to leave it behind me because, well, no, you know what? Ooh, but if I throw it ahead of me, I can't get anywhere. This is tricky. But I want the atomic bomb. You're right. So let's nurture it the hard way.
All right. So do we want to talk about last year?
We do, but I also want to point out the other thing I'd like to do this season is we'd like to try and get some guests in here, talk a little bit more. If we can get some professionals that want to talk with us too, that'd be kind of cool. Even if they're mechanic-y, maybe like a pit crew guy or something like that that might have off that week because they're not busy in F1. They're usually pretty bored.
Yeah.
I mean, travel isn't far.
There's boats sailing across the ocean like that.
Exactly.
How fast is that thing moving?
Right. So they have lots of time. So I'm sure we can get somebody on here easy enough. So, all right. So yes, let's talk about last season.
So, I feel like it was pretty lame.
Wow, we really just killed our show just like that. Sorry, folks. Have a nice day.
We knew immediately that it was going to be won in after the second race of the season. I was like, "There's nobody beating Max," and it was funny to watch Ferrari completely fall apart. And it reminds me, to use another basketball analogy that you don't know anything about, Craig. But do you know who Ben Simmons is?
I know the name. I don't know him.
Okay, he played for the Philadelphia 76ers. He's almost 7 feet tall. #1 draft pick. A lot of hype for this guy. And he missed a basket in the playoffs, a layup, or a free throw. And then he panicked and he had a layup. And instead of shooting the layup, he passed it off. And the guy got fouled, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward 2 years, He's sitting on a bench. He can't make any shots. He's completely lost his confidence. That's what Ferrari reminded me of. Like, it was like every single race, they had completely lost their confidence. Every decision they made
So
was the wrong one.
so all you had to do is use a reference I could understand. I'm a Mets fan, and every time the Mets sign a big name, that big
They
name
fall
comes
apart.
over to the Mets and falls apart. Then when the Mets are done with them and they discard him, they come back to the
They do
glory.
good again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's all
Well,
you had to do is use that reference, and that would have been just fine.
yeah. So I like it was that part was kind of fun, like reveling in somebody else's misery,
It is fun to
Even
watch
though
someone fall, especially a giant like Ferrari.
I like Charles Leclerc. I was rooting for him to do well, but his team was just so bad that I actually wanted him to be in first place and watch them make a stupid mistake every week that dropped him back and him have to try to race back in just to see how he would react. And then halfway through the season, he just became dead inside and was just like, like it killed, it totally crushed his spirit. I was also glad that Russell for Mercedes beat Armstrong, or is that his name? I can't even stand him. I don't like him that much.
I don't know. I haven't.
What's his name? The most famous race car driver of all time.
Oh,
Lewis Hamilton.
yes.
Oh my goodness.
Man,
I
that's
kept thinking Lance Armstrong.
yeah. I don't
I
know.
was so thankful that Russell beat Lewis Hamilton. That was very encouraging to me. I was glad to see that.
Nobody likes Hamilton. I didn't like Hamilton. I haven't liked him
Yeah,
since his introduction on Netflix. The first season,
yeah,
I haven't liked him, but
yeah. He's I don't know. He's tough to like. So I don't know. I think it was
the
good
Tom
seeing.
Brady of racing.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good.
wouldn't be
He's the Tom
surprised if he's
Brady of
kissing
racing.
his son, right?
Right.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
If he has, I don't know.
And maybe he
So
does, maybe he
anyway,
doesn't.
that's basically last year in a nutshell.
Excellent.
Red Bull won. Ferrari should have, but then they ended up getting second, third place because Mercedes came back.
All right. Let's talk a little who we're watching. Who are we going to start with? We're going to start where? We got to have a starting point. This is day one. Here's our car on the racetrack, and he's getting ready to go. It looks more like this, I guess, but than this.
Because of the number 4 in our stuff, I think we start with Lando Norris.
Okay.
He's number 4, races for McLaren. You own a McLaren. I own a McLaren.
I own 2 actually, but one doesn't. We don't pull it out much. Winner
that's
up
where
here.
That's where we should start, and then we can let our fandom grow from there. Like, I would like to see a driver burst onto the scene and find his way into my winner circle.
Look at that.
And yours. Mine and your winner circle. And
I like
they
it.
They become our team that we cheer for, unabashedly, ridiculously, over the top, root for.
Excellent. I'm in. I can do this.
So we start with Lando Norris. And
all
so
right.
basically, Lando Norris has the chance to keep us or lose us.
It's the ball's in his court, or the tire is on his track.
Yes.
And every week we maybe we should have like a Lando tracker. And we can track where he is. Yeah. So we can say, oh, we have to do this. I'll get a chart or something for back here, and we can have like a little thing that goes up where the competitors are getting closer. Like I have the football helmets.
Would it be called a Lando meter or a landometer?
I think it's landometer. Yeah. It sounds more like we're measuring the land. I think we'll have to call it the landometer.
Landometer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be a race. It'll be a race, and
to see how many weeks till he loses us.
Exactly. Yep. So cool. I like that. That's a plan. So a race for Lando. Great. So what other exciting things have we got? What are we thinking?
Top 4 finishes.
Top 4 finishes. All right. Where are we going with that? No, you go ahead.
I think it's going to finish Red Bull 1, Mercedes 2, Ferrari 3, and then McLaren 4.
Oh, I was putting McLaren 3, by the way. I'm putting
For you.
McLaren 3. Yep.
Good for you.
And
Good for you.
and I will go Ferrari 4.
All right.
So, yep. So Red Bull, Mercedes. I have McLaren, Ferrari. I think McLaren takes a move. I think Lando, I think he's going to hear about this podcast and he's going to be like, you know what? I am not losing ground. I'm not going to do it, man. I'm
I,
not doing it. I am going to be the 4 that stands for that podcast every day. I
you know
think he's
what?
going to, he's not, there will not be anyone that gets into his back quarter panel.
I'm going to say this. I want to change mine. I'm going to put him 2. I'm going to put McLaren
Wow,
second.
really?
Simply
Because you
because
have to one up me.
no,
So for those of you who have not watched our other podcast, Jonathan always has to one up me. If I
no.
say the sky is blue, he says, "Well, it's more like a sky blue, Craig." And this is what happens. Now, go ahead. I'll let you go ahead. How are you going to do this? What's going on?
I want to change it because I forgot that they got rid of Daniel Ricciardo, who was just terrible last year. They kicked him to the curb. He's a backup driver for Red Bull.
Yep.
And so I think just getting, and I know you're a fan of his, but
I
getting
was
that
a fan of his,
poison,
actually.
getting that poison out of the paddock is going to propel McLaren forward.
All right. So you got red. You've got then McLaren. Then you got Mercedes, correct?
Correct.
And then Ferrari.
Yep.
And this is where we're posting it for the end of the year.
Yep.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. Cool. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to talk about it. I would say we will probably we always say about a half an hour. We're usually more like 48, 53 minutes. So I'd say people can expect about a half an hour, 45 minutes from us each week,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm excited. I'm excited about the season. I'm excited about everything. Yes, you've got something to say.
We also have to talk about the best driver not named Max.
Oh, yes, we do. I'm all right.
I would like to hear your top 3 drivers not named Max.
No, I want to hear yours first, and then I can tell you right now, because he's ours, I'm putting Lando in there.
I'm putting Lando 1. Lando 1. I'm going to put man, it's really tough for me between Charles Leclerc and George Russell, but I'm going to put George Russell number 2, and I'm going to put Oscar Piastri number 3.
So
The
give
other
me again.
McLaren driver. So Lando Norris, George Russell, Oscar Piastri.
Can you spell
Oscar.
it? Where did Leclerc fit?
Piastri. Piastri.
No.
He's a McLaren driver.
I was saying, where did? Never mind. All right.
Okay.
So I got Norris.
Okay.
I have Sergio.
Okay.
I am going Russell.
Okay. That's all you got to do. Good job.
They're down. They're all written down. So this is how this is going to go. And we will be here every week. We're going to release them on what day?
I think probably Tuesday, right? Since the races are on Sundays.
Tuesday. Tuesday works.
Yeah.
Tuesday by 8 p.m. typically will be available for you. And we will go from there. But I want to thank everyone. Like us, subscribe to us. It should be a fun season. It'll be fun to watch. And we will go from there.
And you'll watch us grow too.
You
get
will.
To see us.
You will
get to see us bloom.
You will see us learn, and you will see how terrible I am with names. So
yes, because this is a lot of names.
It's a lot of names.
Yeah, there's like what 24 of them.
Yeah, that's a lot. I can hardly remember your name.
Yeah,
I have to write it down every time I do the intro. So, all right, folks, if you like watching sports, racing in particular, with some non-mechanicy fellows, that would be this. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and we will talk to you soon.